In the year 2004, the federal government of Nigeria undertook major reforms and reorganizations in the administration of the Federal Capital Territory. The reorganizations, which were necessitated by changes in the dynamics of the new capital city, occasioned by the massive influx of Nigerians from all walks of life into the federal capital city, gave birth to the creation of mandate secretariats. The idea behind the establishment of the secretariats was to improve on service delivery and bring governance closer to the people. In line with the administrative reforms, 7 mandate secretariats were created, amongst which was the Agriculture and Rural Development Secretariat, which has the mandate of harnessing the potentials of the agricultural sector and repositioning it into a viable sector for investment, job creation, and above all, to facilitate the attainment of food security. Since it was established in 2004, the Agriculture and Rural Development Secretariat has had a total of 9 mandate secretaries who have overseen the running of the secretariat. On the 1st of December 2021, the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, approved the appointment of new mandate secretaries into the FCT administration, amongst whom was Mallam Abubakar Ibrahim. Mallam Abubakar was subsequently sworn into office and deployed to the Agriculture and Rural Development Secretariat by the Honorable Minister for FCT, Mallam Muhammad Bello, assisted by the Honorable Minister of State for FCT, Dr. Ramatu Tijani Aliyu. Along with the other mandate secretaries, he received marching orders to hit the ground running towards making immediate impacts in the agricultural sector. In heeding to the ministerial directive, the secretary, on assumption of office, immediately swung into action, meeting with the management team of the Secretariat, urging them to redouble their efforts, stressing that with the attention of government focused on the implementation of people-oriented programs, the agricultural sector provides viable opportunities to realizing these objectives. His visit to the Kubwa and Karu abattoirs on his first day of arrival to the Secretariat gave a clear indication of what his priorities were.
On the assumption of office, I, along with my team, embarked on a tour of facilities and projects of the Secretariat to familiarize myself with the state of facilities, as well as to hear from the farmers and end users in the field what their needs and challenges are. I must confess that the tour have revealed urgent needs for the following. 1. The need for a greater government support in terms of provision of agro inputs such as fertilizer, improved seedlings, agrochemicals, etc. The need to encourage the participation of the private sector to complement the government efforts. The need for government intervention to assist farmers access to microcredits. The need to improve necessary facilities and infrastructure that will help reduce post-harvest losses for our farmers.
The Secretariat, he assured, would put in place measures to improve on the state of facilities in the abattoirs, as well as meat handling practices to standards befitting the status of the Federal Capital Territory.
It's a well-known fact. The various agricultural infrastructures such as abattoir and the FCT were put in place for over 20 to 30 years now. For example, FCT, since it is inception, we have only 4 abattoirs operating. Look at the population today. The numbers are increasing day by day. The fact that due to the population increase, the facilities are overstretched. So it is significant to ensure that the position of the FCT, our facilities should be befitting the image of FCTA. We have kickstarted the process of renovating all the dilapidated agri services centers and warehouses. This is part of what the FCTA has advertised in January, and the financial bid has already started. Just as we are doing with our abattoirs and veterinary clinic, our abattoirs are going on serious renovation. If you go to Yenya and Karu abattoirs, you see that we are evacuating all the waste. The last time they evacuated waste in those two places is since 2019. So it's something that I'm proud to say. As I promised during my end of the year 2021 press briefing, that we are going to evacuate all the waste in those two places. We are doing so now.
Mallam Abubakar recognized the fact that with the exponential rise in population of the FCT, his administration will direct a lot of its energy on getting residents back to land, which is in line with the policy of the federal government of growing what we eat and eating what we grow.
We are embarking on serious sensitization on agriculture by developing rural roads and providing cheap funds and supplies. We are also going to be paying attention to schemes and programs that promote agricultural processing and access to market locally and internationally. We are convinced that once we can make agriculture profitable, young, energetic residents will find it attractive to make it a vocation. So, like I said, we are working with NICEHAL to get easy access to funds to our youth and women so that they can venture into agriculture. Considering the population of FCT, day by day people are coming into Abuja to earn a living. They are looking for white-collar job. Unfortunately, it's not available. So the best option is for them to go back to land, which we are trying our best to make it easy for them.
Mallam Abubakar has captured his agenda under what he tagged the TICME initiative, aimed at addressing specific agricultural issues such as training and capacity building, input support, collaboration with stakeholders, mechanization, infrastructural development, empowerment.
A TICME initiative is a concept that I have developed as a strategy to address issues that the agriculture sector is confronted with. The T represents training. This is a critical aspect in agricultural development. I will be focusing on knowledge transfer to our farmers to acquire good agricultural practices. The I represents infrastructure development. C implies collaboration. My idea here is based on the reality that government alone cannot solve the problem of agriculture. That's why I intend to operate an open door policy that will encourage the participation of the well-meaning organization. M reflects the need for mechanization of agriculture. That is very important. As we make progress, I will be exploring the integration of modern technology in other aspects of agricultural practices, such as addressing post-harvest losses, organic agriculture, fisheries, and livestock development. Already we have secured approval for the revival of tractor hiring scheme, which will help our rural farmers. The I is perhaps the most important element in the agriculture, which is input support. Without input support, you cannot achieve any food production. I want to ensure that farmers get access to quality input timely. They will get it as affordable rate to subsidize it by 50%. So I will put all my effort to make sure before the first rain in the FCT, all our inputs and fertilizers are in store, so that activity may start early. E refers to implement. As you are aware, part of Ministerial Deliverables 12 and 13 by Mr. President is to lift 100 millions of Nigerians out of poverty. The only way you can do it is to provide employment. So this is expected outcome of initiative. The outcome is to ensure that the agri sector is repositioned into a viable sector that will help empower FCT populace, empower the vulnerable group, particularly youth and women, which constitute a significant percentage of our population in the FCT. I also intend to get our youth involved in greenhouse project by training them, also constructing greenhouse firm in the 6th area council.
There is no doubt that with political will, the Mallam Abubakar Tikme initiative in repositioning the agricultural sector is achievable. Indeed, there seems to be renewed hope as expressed by members of management of the Secretariat on their impression about the new secretary and their expectations as they relate to their departmental mandate.
Since he came, we've been having very, very good working relationship with him. In fact, he has been conducting his affairs openly, as in having open door policy to all and sundries in the Secretariat. He has done a lot that has improved the revenue generation of the Secretariat, which in turn also the FCT as a whole. And with that, the improvement in some facilities that we have has made us to earn more, and that will also increase to the budgetary provision that will also be given to the Secretariat. And finally, what I also want him to focus on, as he has already started, is the issue of staff welfare, because we have a lot of active and vibrant staff in this Secretariat, and they've been very much working very hard. And to that effect, I want him to prove on what he is doing.
We are pleased at last that we are able to get a secretary after how many years. The meeting we have had with him is also fulfilling, because we long expect somebody to give us a sense of direction, which we are getting right now. He has taken upon himself to see that we have a good policy and a strategy for FCT agricultural sector. That he's taking it personally, and we want to see that by the end of the day, we'll be able to have a document that we call FCT Agri Policy and a 5-year strategic plan for us to implement our program here.
It has a great zeal to serve humanity, especially the rural populace of FCT. Within this short time, we have done a lot. When he came in, most of our files, our proposals, was being on transit, and he made sure that these files and proposals were given attention. And for the first time, we're going to have agro inputs before the onset of rain-fed season. As my Honorable Secretary, there are areas of concentration I want him to take note of in agri services. The area of making sure that agro inputs are available and accessible at the right time.
Our new secretary, on resumption of office, has hit the ground running. He's a very proactive person. Within a short time, he has been able to touch all our facilities. Within the few days he resumed, he has conducted tour around even the facilities that were damaged by the NSAS protests. Actions have been taken for the reconstruction. He has set the tractors hiring service scheme running again. He has pledged to procure 12 tractors. This will go a long way to boost our farming processes in FCT. And these people who want to go into commercial farming. With this, there's a big boost to agriculture. But we encourage him to do more in the rural development. Every aspect of rural development, it will go about improving the livelihoods of the rural populace, and that we announce the Secretariat in a good light.
It has been awesome is quite accessible. He gives us all the necessary attentions. We feel relaxed in with his administration. We could actually air all our views, tell him our challenges, and he's giving us good attention. So we want him to focus on how we can, everything we can do to stop the use of tires in our abattoirs. That is, we suggested to him already that we need to have biogas stations so that we can change from using tires to using gas blowers to roast skin in all the abattoirs. We need total overhaul of the 13 area council slabs. We need upgrade. We need upgrade of our own abattoirs so that we can have systems where we no longer slaughter on a bare floor. And we have actually told him all this, and he's giving it close attention.
With the inception of the Minister of State, the current secretary was following us during our tours. So we'll find him a very jovial person, somebody you can relate with, somebody you can work with. He's open and straightforward. I would like the new secretary to depend more or work with us more on extension services. That is what ADP is all about. And during this process, extension is a good bet. You have to take the extension down to the grassroots. Those staff that will take those information to the grassroots need to be trained.
Talking about the new secretary, he is new, but not all that new, and I guess that has been an advantage for both parties, myself, others, and himself, because he used to be somebody known to us. I guess it enabled him to hit the ground running. We didn't have to start learning ourselves. So the working relationship has been good. He's been the person that we used to know. He did not change, as in, some people, when they take up an appointment like that, you notice that they will shut their doors against everybody, but he has maintained his normal open door policy. He has maintained this listening ears. You call him, he picks, you send a message, even if it's just one word, but he will answer. Yeah, when he assumed duty, he requested for briefs, and in the course of the briefing, he picked interest in the completion of the Buhari Fish Farm Estate, in the completion of Fish Seed Multiplication Center, and of course, commencement of infrastructural developments in Kwale. And he followed up that brief with site visits, which made him see things himself, by himself, the way they were on ground, the way they are. I think that also gingered him. And in the course of those visits, he made heartwarming promises, which I believe he will also live up to his expectation.
Working with the Honorable Secretary in the first 100 days in office has been eventful. So the most challenging thing we are facing here is office space and staff training. I think it would be a very good thing for him to encourage staff by sending them for training regularly, so that officers will learn and also be very conversant with what they are supposed to do.
I see him as someone who has the zeal to do the job, someone you can walk in and discuss with freely. He's open-minded. He lays his cards on the table, no ambiguity. He tells you straight the way it is. So for such a person, you see you work harmoniously with him. Our task as a department is enormous. And in most cases, we started with a lot of responsibilities, trying to meet up our challenges. But the bane of a department is poor budgetary allocation. So if there's a way he can assist us in improving on our budgetary appropriation, annual budgetary appropriation, that would be very, very good. It will help us to actualize our statutory responsibilities. And one particular one is trying to protect our forest estates, which have come under heavy encroachment in recent times because of one interest or the other, estate development and all what have you.
There is a lot of understanding between the department and the secretary. He understands the mandate of the department and the need to facilitate a lot of things that are under the department. So it's been very cordial. We have support of the secretary, the understanding of the secretary. We have submitted a lot of files which we have gotten approval after, of course, briefing him and understanding the need to facilitate some of these things. So I think the relationship generally, I would say, has been very cordial. It's been very nice working with him. There are a lot of big projects that are in the pipeline, which we have even been working with the secretary even before he came into the secretariat. We have the Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zones project that is facilitated by the AFDB, African Development Bank. So by and large, development of the grazing reserves, development of the value chain in grazing reserves, and other feedlot farmers, dairy farmers, and even the poultry farmers are going to be integrated into this development. So it will be a holistic approach for development of the sector.
From the first day of assumption of office, he has been very proactive, and it is as a result of this proactiveness that has resulted to some of the achievements we are seeing today. This is a man, even at midnight, on personal experience, to call you, ask you certain questions on the activity of the program. I have that experience with him, and he has been very, very good.
On where he wants to see the agricultural sector in the next 5 years, here is what Mallam Abubakar has to say.
The Agri-Secretariat in the FCT, in the nearest future, my hope is to leave a secretariat that is feeding the FCT and is producing and exporting outside the country. That is my hope. Most significantly, in the next year, we shall be working with the African Development Bank, AFDB, and Islamic Development Bank, ISDB, and the federal government to establish a special agro-industrial processing zone, SAPZ, in Pai Konkore, Gwagwala, the area council. As you are aware, we have just secured a facility of $55.47 million to develop infrastructure and host anchor investors in the livestock sector. Investors are setting up facilities in dairy, beef, animal feed, waste to energy production and processing. Similarly, we are going to be steadfastly implementing the Nigerian Care Project that will see us develop several rural roads, provide agricultural inputs and supply, and sink borehole to provide potable water in our rural areas.
Just within the 100 days, Mallam Abubakar has visited ARDS facilities in all the 62 wards of the FCT, participated in the cleanup of abattoirs, held meetings with various stakeholders and research institutes, met with NIRSAL on easing of agricultural funding to FCT farmers, set up committees to review MOU with partners as well as on revenue generation. He equally has set up a committee to promote the practice of organic agriculture in the FCT. In ensuring that farmers are equipped with knowledge of good agricultural practices, the various step-down training programs of the Secretariat through its extension agents have been bolstered. As they say, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. The vision of repositioning the agricultural landscape of the FCT towards meeting the yearnings of the FCT populace in terms of food security and as a viable source of empowerment and income generation is so far moving on the right track under the dynamic and focused leadership of Abubakar Ibrahim.